I'm a fat pig.
What did you just call me?
I'm starving.
I am so full.
I'm gonna vomit.
I can't fit.
I'm nauseous.
What are you going to order?
Can I get a side of mayo?
I'm sweating.
Do you hear my breathing?
I cannot stop eating chips.
This is not an extra large.
Do I look fat?
Welcome to Fat Pig. I'm Frank Liotti.
And I'm Jessica Sean Curson.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I just felt like I feel like adding my middle name today.
Isn't it funny how sometimes the English language sounds like a rhythm? I don't know why. I feel like adding my middle name today. It sounds like rhythm.
Really?
Like iambic pentameter.
What? What'd you just say?
Iambic pentameter.
I don't know what that is.
It's Shakespeare. Like Shakespeare wrote in rhythm. Like but soft what light through yonder window breaks.
Oh, I never heard that before. But that's
true.
It
is the
true.
east and
right.
Juliet is the sun.
Oh God, I can't deal with. I know. I mean, really.
Sun and kill the envious moon who is sick and pale with grief that thou hast made us with it.
I have no interest in any of that.
I studied it for hundreds of thousands of years, and the last movie I saw was Happy Death Day.
What's that?
It's where teenagers get slaughtered. I would rather watch a movie that was made for $1.50 with a tab can than ever read another line of Shakespeare again.
I don't blame you. It's horrible.
Who gives a shit? And you go to see it now, and the sister's Chinese, the brother is white, the aunt is black. It's like so insanely PC. Ugh, I don't want to see PC anymore. I want to see a culture of hatred.
Yeah, you got it. It's. I don't know. I go both ways with that.
Ooh.
Sometimes I feel like PC is important, and sometimes I don't. So I'm very confused with the subject.
Me too. I could not agree, honestly, more.
Yeah. With
sometimes it is important. It's totally important. I watched The Purple Rose of Cairo, the Woody Allen film, a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
This beautiful cast, this beautiful story, beautiful settings in New York City, and it's Thanksgiving, and this black woman comes in a maid's uniform, and it's the only actress of color in the entire thing. You know, just kind of silently lighting the candles while they ignore her. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like it's just representative of the way life has been for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate the huge kind of raising of awareness of what's been going on. Opening everybody, like that, nobody would have blinked twice years ago. At least then nobody white would have blinked twice at that. But I remember years ago seeing Pretty Woman, and a chauffeur at one point opens the door for her, and I remember the guy behind me was going, "Don't do it! Don't do it, motherfucker!" And now I understand why. Like a guy in the audience was shouting at the screen, and I totally get it.
Don't open the door for her?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it was the only representation of an African American in the movie, and he was a chauffeur opening a door for her with no lines.
Got it.
You know?
I would never, ever, ever notice that.
I didn't notice
funny?
it, but the man behind me was shouting, like Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah. I never notice any of that stuff. I just don't. I don't know why. It's probably a good thing that I don't notice it. It would drive me insane.
Because you're not totally unhinged.
Yeah.
Because you're eating popcorn.
No, God, I haven't had popcorn in so long, but it's very dangerous for me. But I feel like shit today, because I'm going to talk about food stuff for a minute. I feel like shit because the last 2 nights had, when we worked in Long Island this weekend, someone gave me like 7 pounds of nuts. Ronnie might be listening to this. Ronnie, thank you so much for the nuts. Now they're inside of me. So that was Frank clapping. Now they're inside. So
my mouth was full with coffee.
I know. I have a problem.
Someone gave me 7 pounds of nuts.
He did.
Ronnie,
he brought them.
Thank you for the nuts.
Yeah, he brought them from Turkey. His wife is from there, and they go for 6 weeks. And he brings me nuts every summer. And I ate 700 nuts. Like they're peanuts covered in sugar, and it's crazy. I feel horrible physically from eating that. And it was like when I was eating them, I felt like shit yesterday, and I said, I'm not going to eat them again. And I did. And when I was eating them, it was like I was I knew I was going to feel like shit, and I didn't care. I just kept eating them and eating them and eating them. I also, excuse me, this is hilarious, but have a thing with threes. So I have to eat 3 of them at a time. So I keep eating 3, then another 3, then another 3, then another 3. It's so crazy. It's like this whole ritual that I do. And I'm just putting it out there because I know a lot of people do that kind of stuff. And I'm with you. I totally am with you for anyone who does that. And it's also secret, by the way. It's never in front of other people.
I melt the colors off of M&Ms. I try not to bite them.
Yeah.
But I usually fail.
Right.
Saturday night, our second show, I had my clothes laid out. Clothes, that's a hard word to say. I had my clothes laid out.
You mean at the show?
No. Like
you
at
said
home.
our second show.
Our second set of shows.
Oh,
like,
got it,
not
got
Friday,
it.
but Saturday.
Uh-huh.
I had my clothes laid out, and I have to say something. It's our last episode when I talked about falling off the wagon July 4th, and you laughed. Like, I hadn't said it as a joke, and I was living in such denial that July 4th was still in a catchable time that it actually
Right.
it hurt my feelings, and I stuffed it away. Like when it became
What
a joke.
hurt your feelings?
Like when you're like, ha ha ha, July 4th, ha 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 ha. Because I was living in such a denial that it was like last week, that it was still like in a catchable time frame.
Oh,
and I was
got
like,
it.
oh my God, that was like a half a century ago.
Right.
When I fell off the, and my point is, this is what I'm saying. I mentioned in the last episode that I had lost 40 pounds. I fell off the wagon the 4th of July. And I had said it like it was last week, and you were like,
Right.
you were like, ha 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 ha, 4th of July.
I never laughed that hard.
No, I
but
know, but that's what it felt like. That was the
No, I get it.
subtext to me.
Yeah.
Because
I
it
thought you
broke-
were joking.
No, because it broke my denial.
Right.
You understand?
Yes, of course.
And nothing I had laid out fit.
Right.
I am at a point now where I'm washing the same button-up black shirt in the tub to wear. Like, I have a show at Caroline's tonight.
I almost just spit out my water. I just took a sip of water and almost spit it out. I'm
Why?
sorry. Because I was laughing. I was going to laugh.
Like the black dress shirt that I have looks like the smock they give you at a hair salon when you get color done. Like that robe.
Yeah.
That's what fits.
Yeah.
Like I would wear the robe from a hair salon as a dress shirt.
I wish I could just wear sheets. That
you
was
imagine?
insane. That sound was not a duck. That was Frank taking a sip
Of iced coffee.
Iced coffee.
I wish I could wear paneling.
Yeah, I wish I could wear anything that would just cover me up and be
Melted
big and
chocolate.
Yeah, well, I just wish nothing fitted. That would be fitted. Melted chocolate just painted on. I want a sheet. Like I want a whole sheet around me.
I tried to wear an extra large. I want a circus tent. Can you imagine with like really embrace it?
Yes.
Like pink and green stripes. Like embrace it and look like a freak.
I used to wear huge clothes. I've told you that from like Avenue, Ashley Stewart, Lane Bryant.
Walking into Avenue.
I looked like I was like an African woman with like, I'm not even kidding. It was so crazy. The only things that fit me were like these huge, like these patterns, and they were so big. And people used to always ask me when I was expecting. I swear they'd be like, when are you expecting? I'm like, when I give up carbs. That's when I'm expecting everything to go away.
I'm having a tray of Stella D'Oro breakfast treats.
Yeah, I'm giving birth to a tray.
I would walk into Avalon for my mother or sister at birthdays
Avalon
and Christmas. What's
Avenue.
it called? Avenue. Avenue. It was like walking into a greenhouse because there were so many floral prints. So everything. But I mean, really, like why? Like what?
I don't
heavy
know.
person wants to wear like peonies and tulips,
Right?
and all on the same shirt, and daisies and weeds,
Right? Why?
like everything crammed
Weeds.
onto the same shirt. It looks like, honestly, it looks like a special needs person
Weeds.
threw finger paints on fabric. Everything.
I know. I mean, who wants to bring more attention to being obese? Give me a solid color, for fuck's sake.
You should feel like you're walking into like a wake when you go into
Right.
Avalon.
All black.
Everything
it's
black.
Avenue.
Avenue.
All black or red.
All black. It should look like a haunted house setup.
Yeah, it shouldn't even be a bright red, like a dull red. Anything just dull.
A dull red.
I'd walk out and look like I was marching for like the African Day Parade, or you're right, there was always floral
The
prints.
May Day Parade.
Yeah, I look like a botanical garden.
Flower Queen. Flower Queen, Flower Queen.
I did. I look like a botanical garden. People would be like, "Wait, are we at the botanical garden, or is that a person?"
Is that the snack stand?
It's crazy.
Somebody keeps telling me about something. I don't know, upstate New York. There are these art gardens, and you walk around the grounds and blah blah blah. I don't even know what it was. Art gardens.
I don't know.
Apple picking.
You would love that. Well, that's a
Sculptures.
very different thing. Art gardens and
Apple picking. All I
Yeah.
said was, is there a snack stand? Because you have to walk.
Well, Listen.
I'm drunk with food hangover.
So am I.
I can't even pronounce my consonants.
What'd you eat last night? You won't admit it. I ate 7 pounds of nuts.
Because the thing is, like, when you say I ate 7 pounds of nuts, I would have to, like, stop. Like, you can ask me at 4 PM when I'm more awake. Because it's literally like, oh my God, remember Minnie Mouse and the Magic Grinder? And she wishes for ice cream, and it shoots out like hundreds of thousands of different flavors of ice cream. Like, I ate such a variety of stuff. It's like someone walking around a grocery store and just eating.
Oh, so you don't even remember it was that much
like
where you don't
today
remember.
I had, the dog woke me up at like 7 to go out, and I had some leftover artichoke ravioli. Like, I made marinara sauce. And then I put it on, like, really clean and healthy, fresh tomatoes and whatnot. But then I was going to put it on quinoa like I used to, but I put it on artichoke ravioli. And I can't even taste it, so there's no point because of that sinus thing. But I had some of that at 7 a.m. And then before today, I had these little mini sliders with no bread.
Okay, like hamburgers?
Beef sliders. I seriously feel like I ate half of a cat.
By the way, everyone, it's 11:35 in the morning, and you've had meal, like you've had Italian meals, not even like.
I had like a couple of ravioli.
No, I'm not judging. I just think
like
it's funny.
A couple dozen ravioli. I had like a couple, but no, it's because it was protein and it was fast. I needed to get out of the house. The
ravioli was protein.
The beef things.
Oh yeah,
the beef
totally.
bucks. No, the ravioli was a different meal. That was at like 7.
Oh, okay.
I think. Because I left the dog out and I was half asleep.
I know. I sleep and eat too.
They slide down like I didn't have to chew.
Right. Well, I don't chew anything, literally.
Here's the thing, though. Here's what returned.
Returned?
Yeah, here's what returned to, like, my existence. This is the worst part. Like, I was loving the way I looked.
Right.
And you sent me pictures of me on stage.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law years ago he like wanted to save money, so he put together a coal-burning stove in their living room. They had coal in the backyard. They were like en vogue for a while in like the 80s. These people were having these coal-burning stoves. I looked like a stove. I really did. You thought I was kidding. Like those black stoves that you load with coal. Because you were in the back of the room. You took a picture of me. I was on stage. I looked like a stout, round in the middle, like where you load the minerals. I looked like a stove.
I think I saw a pizza inside of you.
I had a Duncan Hines double layer in my oven.
No, you had a whole pizza, like you put in a wood oven with the thing underneath it, a pizza holder. I'm too tired. I'm very hungover right now.
Hungover.
I am. I have a food hangover. I do too.
Me too.
It's bad. I don't feel good.
We should write a song, Food Hangover. Food hangover. But you want a cure. Like Love Hangover was the song. And she's, I need no cure. Like Food Hangover.
Oh, no, yeah. I need a cure.
I just want to vomit.
Someone please help me. I'm shitting my pants.
Get these 3 musketeers out of my body.
Oh, I feel the ziti in my asshole. I feel the ziti in my asshole.
Asshole is
I love singing like
word.
that. Asshole. You see how I don't even say the end of the word? I feel the ziti in my asshole.
Asshole.
Wait, what did you just say before that?
Asshole.
No, you said something, and then I went into the ziti in my asshole.
Something about throwing up 3 musketeers.
No, after that. I don't know. Let me rewind.
You've been doing that for so many years. That's
I know. By the way, you just went on my punchline, and someone asked me to do that again. Did you see that? They asked me to do the rewind thing.
Who
you didn't see it on
to do
Twitter. Someone asked.
Who?
I don't know.
A man or a woman?
A man. Probably a gay man who's attracted to you. Got in touch with me on Twitter.
They, in person, don't even make eye contact with me. The gay guys that walk over to talk to you, not only do they not even like smile and nod, they don't even make eye contact, the gay guys.
Well, maybe they're intimidated.
No, let's talk about this culturally for a second.
Oh,
no, we don't have to talk about it. It's okay. Hello?
Yeah.
Hi, is Danielle there?
She'll be there soon.
Like, and my niece and I make little goofy movies with the iPhone and whatnot. I'm going back to what we were saying before. And, like, no angle is the right angle. Does that make sense? Because I gained everything back. Not everything, but I gained a lot of weight back. And it's really, it sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. It's very hard.
Nothing fits again. And my clothes were like swimming on me and stuff like that. It's really tough. And instead of just complaining about it, I got to get back on. I just have to. There's no other way. So I know that it's goofy that I had like those little sliders, but it is protein.
It's not goofy. That's a good thing to eat, actually, before you go out. You should have protein before you leave the house.
I mean, it feels like I ate roadkill. Like it's lying there.
I know.
But it's Monday. And even though I had ravioli at 7 in the morning, I'll say that was before midnight in my head. I can lie to myself. Because I have to start now. I have to.
No, it doesn't matter if you had ravioli during the day. It doesn't matter. You just get right back on track.
Like if I were to do duck lips.
I can't wait to get back to the nuts.
I can't wait to go to the diner. If I were to do like duck lips, it wouldn't even make an indent in my cheeks. You know what I'm saying? It would just look like I had a small mouth because I'm so bloated in the face.
Right. Yeah, I understand. I don't, thank God my face is thin. You know, it's the only thing, I told you, I said this on stage, it's the only thing I exercise, and that's really true.
When you try and smile.
No, when I make faces, I make stupid faces, so I'm always working my face out. Like, nothing else, I don't work anything else out.
My face is the first thing where I notice it when I gain weight, and the first thing I notice it when I lose weight.
Really? Mm-hmm. I don't notice when I gain or lose anything anywhere except when my clothes don't fit me well.
My face I do, because no matter what picture I take, it never looks good.
Oh, I never think a picture looks good anyway.
To me.
Yeah.
I do. Like 1 in 100.
Yeah. I mean, it's good you do.
If somebody's standing like 1,500 feet back and my head is cocked to the right and down a little bit, like I know my angles.
And you have a bag over your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm, seriously, and it's tied.
Yeah, and it's
the bag
black.
Is tied
There's
around
no
my
lighting.
neck. If somebody's hitting me with a stick with the bag on my head and I'm hanging from an oak.
That's not good.
Like I'm a piñata. Then it's a good picture.
Yeah. So there were some things you wanted to talk about. What did you want to talk about?
I mean, it all ties in. It all ties in. I think bad behavior. First of all, I feel like shit. And I remember being in this room on this podcast saying how amazing I felt.
Yeah.
When I was living well.
Right.
When I was, juicing, and I don't mean like kale, like dumpster juicing, that green shit. I was just doing like low sugar smoothies with berries, and so I felt so good. I have so many ailments right now that I've been eating poorly. I don't even know where to begin. I have so many ailments. I'm exhausted all the time.
Well, that is when I'm not eating well, I'm tired.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
It's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
We both said, like, I used to get smoker hangovers from cigarettes when I smoked a lot. I didn't even smoke a lot. It was half a pack a day. But if I had a late night, I would get a smoking hangover. It's like that with anything when we don't take care of ourselves. The body is telling you that something is wrong. And as you get older, when you're near maybe 35, 40, and then even beyond that, your body is screaming at you. You just have to have the awareness and notice it. But it's so easy, like my sister did before she passed away, to stomp over those signs. And to just live in like discomfort and pain or whatever it is. Your body is telling you something. And you know what it is if you stop and get quiet and admit it and listen. It was like that denial last week when you said July 4th and when I said it and you laughed. It's like a wake-up call. And we have to listen to those as painful as it is. My body is telling me to get it the fuck together. You know?
Well, my body can tell me to get it together, but I don't care when it does that. Sometimes I purposely don't do anything about it because I don't really care that I don't feel well or that, people will say to me, well, if you just cut this out well, I'm doing it on purpose. How about that? This is not like, I don't know. I know every food that's good for me. I know what to eat, what not to be.
Right.
I've been on diets since I'm a child, since I'm 8 years old. I went to fat camp. I went to I've been on every diet, nutritionist, everywhere. So I know exactly what to eat and what not to eat. So when I don't do it, I'm purposely not taking care of myself because I feel like I don't deserve to feel good. That's really the truth. And then I get really sad.
Right.
I get really sad that I even feel like that. And I know people that are listening to this that care about me will say to me, when I see them in person at shows or even comics who listen and people, I feel so bad. I wish you didn't feel like that about yourself. Well, you know what? I do. Not all the time, but I do. And it's been more so lately. And I think by talking about it, it's really important because people can listen to this and say, I'm not alone. I'm not crazy. Like, this is what other people do too. And it's not that it's okay, but it's common. It's very common.
I don't live in that. Like, I don't live in purposely hurting myself. I pretend that it's not happening, and I just let the addiction flow.
Yeah.
Like eating Boston cream pie a little bit at a time, I'm just in the addiction of it. I don't say, you suck, you suck, you suck, eat this, eat this. I just live in the joy of eating, and then it becomes the numbness of it. You know how they always say eat to numb? Mm-hmm. I never really felt like what that is until the last year. Because it's, like I said weeks ago, when a therapist said, you're not being fed. Therapist said to me, because you're not being fed. And that was really, that's really it for me. It's like filling this need.
I relate to that too.
Right. Filling this need. And it's not on purpose destructive. And of course I know. I was a bodybuilder for 20 years. I was a gym rat. I would eat every 3 hours. I would have 8 egg whites and then a protein bar 3 hours later, a can of tuna 3 hours later. I would prepare my meals for 20 years. And I know what's right, but I'm living in the throes of food stuff right now because I'm so dissatisfied. I guess, it's not even about being dissatisfied. It's about it's the addictions side of it. Really,
of course, I get that too.
I'm so much happier for the most part lately. This is what's making me sad. Stuffing poison into my mouth is making me sad.
Right. But I'm thinking about something you said about that you're eating because you enjoy it, like the taste. Well, not the taste, because I know you can't taste, but you did just say that
like the joy of it, whether it's texture,
right?
Or
I don't care about any of that anymore. I don't enjoy, like, I don't.
Right.
I'm not like, oh my God, I want to get a pasta dish with bolognese. Like, I don't. It's more about feelings and just like stuffing it in.
Right.
It's not about enjoying. I mean, I've said this to you.
No,
I feel like I've enjoyed food enough in my life that I don't deserve. I'm being serious. I don't deserve sounds harsh, but I don't need to eat any more brownies. I've had enough fucking brownies.
Right.
I don't need to enjoy the taste of a brownie. I've enjoyed them. I've had trays of brownies in my life. So there's very few foods or things that I feel like I won't have this or I didn't have that.
That right there sounds like a punishment. Why would you punish yourself for the rest of your life and never have something again that you enjoy?
Well, I don't have to not have it again. Because I'm an addict, so I shouldn't be having sugar.
Right.
I'm an addict. So,
right. But it's the wording of it that sounds interesting to me. Like when you say it, it sounds like self-punishing.
It's not punishing because I don't eat the brownie.
You've had enough
wait, I don't eat the brownie because of the taste of it, because I want a brownie. I'm eating the brownie because I'm hurting myself. I don't feel like I need to eat another brownie. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, like I don't even...
Like I get the same pleasure from fruit.
Right.
I do.
Right. I don't even know anymore as long as it's food.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Because I haven't been able to taste. It'll be 2 years around March. I mean, I've gotten moments where it comes back for a few weeks. The ears, nose, and throat guy doesn't know. I'm going to have a third surgery. There's no mold in my apartment. At one point, they thought it was PrEP. They thought it was Truvada, which is supposed to be an HIV preventative. If you're negative, it's supposed to, like a lot of gay men are popping them like M&Ms. And they said, 8% of people have sinus inflammation from that. So I went off of that. It's like they can't find what's wrong. So I'm not tasting or smelling anything, and I'm still shoving food in.
Yeah.
Like I made Barefoot Contessa's chicken liver mousse, and then I ate it again, and nobody else is eating it but me. I'm not tasting it. I'm just eating.
That's interesting to me, because I feel like if I didn't taste anything, I don't know.
It's the same addiction, though. It's
no,
not...
I would go on to another addiction. I know myself. Like, I would... I know Alex is laughing, too. The sound when you take a sip, just because it's so crisp. Mm-hmm. It's like, if anyone's thirsty right now, that sounded so good. Like, if someone's on a desert listening to us, they'd be like, I want what Frank's having.
It was the end of my iced coffee. It's just backwash.
But it sounded amazing. Yeah, I don't think I would eat a lot if I couldn't taste. I don't think so.
I don't know.
Everyone's different.
I don't know how I would. I don't know. Like, it's so surreal to me that this is still happening again now.
I know. It's horrible.
I don't know how I would. I don't know. It's something I've never experienced before. I went through a phase where I lost a bunch of weight because I couldn't taste. But now it's just like I'm angry subconsciously to a degree.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm just shoving food in even though I can't taste it, or smell anything. It's just like
I feel so bad for you.
like when
That
somebody
is
on the
horrific.
street is like, "Oh my God, what is that smell?" I'm like jealous of them that they have that sense,
Yeah.
and I don't have that. It really is. It's driving me so fucking nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah, thank God, because I farted 4 times since we've been in
Can you
here.
imagine? That's what that hole in the wall is behind you.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's just thank God you can't smell anything, because you should really smell what's coming out of my ass right now. Do you want to come close to it? Do you want to put your nose right near it?
No.
Okay. I mean, we could test and see if your smell is getting better. I'm joking. I haven't farted.
I know that.
I forget that you've lost your smell, so I wouldn't even fart around you.
It's really,
It's horrible.
yeah, it really is. I try to just, what are you going to do? I try and be zen about it. My time waste and go-to, and we have so many gay guy listeners. Let's talk a second about these apps. This is a man thing. It is such a man thing. What is it called? Grindr? Scruff? These apps are designed in the same way that notifications on Instagram or Facebook, likes, views, whatever it is, that kind of addicting dopamine rush that we get when somebody likes something that we post or views something that we post. It's the same thing on these when somebody like contacts us. Like, I don't act out for the most part on any of these apps, but it is such, I know that there are so many guys listening, it is such a time waster, and for me, it's tied in with the same kind of emotion that is in line with food addiction. It's the same kind of like trying to fill a void of
course.
something.
Yeah.
And here's what's tricky about it. Like, you're chatting and flirting with a photograph and with a complete stranger, like I had been for a few weeks with somebody in New Orleans, and then all of a sudden I got sick last week, and I hadn't sent him a text or anything or contacted him, and I sent him a little joke video that somebody sent me. It's like a duck that blows up a fruit stand that becomes Osama bin Laden. It was a stupid little joke. And this guy writes back, "That's not funny. You're not funny. Don't ever contact me again. I didn't hear from you in 2 weeks." Now, I'm on my way to a comedy show. Yet another gay man is saying, "You're not funny," which is the first thing they go to when they want to attack me. "You're not funny. When I saw you at Caroline's, I didn't laugh once. I'm funnier than you. You do the same material all the time." I get it. Like, you know how to hit low. But it's like, it's so dangerous to tangle with strangers when you're trying to like fill a void and fill a hole.
Yes.
Yes. And I don't know if it's even worse to actually meet up with them. I think it is worse to meet up with them and then eventually kill any kind of vulnerability or sensitivity associated with sex and with physical stuff. But it's another kind of, I think there's like a meeting for it now. People that are on the apps.
Oh, I bet there is.
We both know somebody who went.
I mean, listen, this is so common for everyone we were talking about, because it's not just a gay thing. It's not just a gay man thing. I mean, so
Which
many.
Which aspect of it? You mean filling that void?
The social media thing and being addicted to it and filling the void and all of it. Everything you're saying. I mean, there's so many women listening to this that
I mean, the pickup
get
apps.
upset.
I mean, like Scruff and Grindr.
Right, but they'll be on Match. I know tons
Tinder.
of women who are on Match.com and all these
Tinder,
other things,
yeah.
and they won't get attention, or someone will say something rude or whatever, and it's like, it's heartbreaking to them.
It's awful. And then another one that I've been talking to for a long time that I really liked, I sent that video to. It's a duck that turns into Osama bin Laden. "I can't take this anymore. I can't take that. I tried." Or the transphobia, because I sent him a picture of somebody passed out with a nightgown on and a penis. It's just like a stupid meme. It's not like I'm a mean-spirited person. It's just like a silly picture. It's a joke. And yet to not be communicative and to just sort of pull down the iron grate that covers the entrance, to like shut down a door, I unfriend you, I completely block you out of my life because you were offensive with a joke you sent me, instead of like being communicative and having a conversation with somebody. The internet has created this kind of ability to just, like the way that people talk to one another online. The way that people like just respond when people start to argue on a thread things that they would never say to another person's face. This liberty to just kind of like throw whatever they want out there and be as hateful as they want via text or via the internet or whatever. That's not okay.
Well, it is what it is. I agree with you, and it's going to get worse.
It's part of our culture.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I mean, if you put yourself out there and you choose, not you, any of us, choose to do that, and you're going to be vulnerable, and you specifically can connect to people a lot through text and through all of that stuff, and you really don't know the person.
You don't know the person?
You've never met them, and then you they hurt you or do something crazy. It's like, well, I never really knew that person anyway. This is through text or FaceTime, whatever, not even FaceTime.
And I had no idea this person was feeling left out because he didn't hear from me for a week. I hadn't heard from him either. Reach out to me.
But it's not a real relationship when you're just talking to someone for a couple of weeks.
That's exactly my point.
That's
I'm talking
the scary
about like
thing. You don't really know
what goes
them.
on in my head and the stuff that I create, and giving somebody the benefit of the doubt the whole time, or like creating the idea that everybody, like I've said to you before, I really believe that people are good people, and you were like, I don't. I used to. I don't think so anymore. It's starting to get shaken.
Yeah, I did my whole life. I really did.
Right.
But I don't give people the benefit of the doubt anymore. I can't. I feel like I've trusted a lot of people, and they've not hurt me horribly, but like they'll like that, exactly what you're saying. They'll turn out of nowhere. I'm like, what the fuck
because
happened?
They've created a scenario
like,
in their own head.
I thought I knew them, and now all of a sudden, who is this person?
I had no idea I was being offensive or that you felt left out or whatever. There are two separate people I'm talking about, and it's like, my point is it's such similar behavior as far as like just unfriending somebody, and all of a sudden, that's it. You know, people that know each other even better than that, all of a sudden, like the booker from a New York comedy club, I was mortified because he unfriended me, and then I spoke to two other people, and he unfriended them too. And we take this personally.
I'm so glad that I don't even know who unfriended. But I'm just saying, let me finish. I don't even know who unfriends me. So I'm in a good place because I don't look at who likes my things, who comments, who unfriends me, who friends me. I am so grateful because I would be in a home if I know
you're
this.
In a place where you don't need.
No, but I do need that. I'm trying to grow my social media, but I purposely, not with the unfriending and friending, with the likes and comments, I have to just put it out there and not, because I'll go crazy. I'm so obsessive that I will be on it. That's what I'm saying. I get it. I will be looking at every single thing.
But like, I get it. Like, I don't respond when people attack me in videos, though. Do you still do that?
Like literally once in a blue moon.
Right.
Yeah.
Because then I'll just like, well, once I saw somebody from my childhood, I have no idea who it was because they remained anonymous. I always knew he was a faggot when I was in his basement and his sister Debbie was there, like someone who knew specifics about my life and childhood, who of course had like no picture on their profile and like didn't even have a name, but just wrote like, I always knew he was a little faggot back then when we were 7. I'm like, who the fuck is this? It's so sick and insane.
Yeah.
You know?
I've been attacked so much.
Oh
I can't
my
even.
God. It's nuts. But, you know, like, in other words, like, first of all, unfriended isn't even a word. A verb now is, you know, like liking a stat. It's so stupid and benign, but it becomes toxic and not benign. It becomes malignant. It's just.
I guess it's about trying to put it out there and not look at the response as much as you can, because you have no control over it. Like, even in a good way, I've put out videos that I think are ridiculous, like, you know, of me just singing in a car and it had 7 million views. And then I'll put out something that I think is brilliant, what I've done alone or with you or with other people, and it literally gets 100 likes. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I don't feel like you can read into it sometimes.
Well, I mean stuff on more of a personal level.
Right.
In other words, like when comics are not starting out, there's like, we've always talked about this, there's a formula to comedy. You start with open mics, and then you do bar shows, and then you do some road work in colleges, and then eventually you graduate to New York comedy clubs. So when you get to that level, it's exciting. Mm-hmm. And which I was at a few years ago when I started to work in New York clubs. And then to have like a booker suddenly unlike you on Facebook, like think of how stupid that sounds. Unlike me on Facebook. For a second I was like, holy shit, what did I do?
No, I understand that.
Like I thought I'd gotten to this certain level, and then it happened at a good time for me because I'm at a point now where other comedy clubs have embraced me so well. And you go where the love is. And then it turns out this person did it to a bunch of other comics too, and they're not right in the head, you know? So it's like, okay, I have to put life in perspective and not take stuff personally.
And let it go.
And let it go.
I've said this to you before. How long do you give yourself to get stressed about something?
Well, it's different now.
No, I'm saying, like, for me,
in
it's
general,
always a thing. Like, if someone does something to me, I can't give it more than a day. It's just a waste of fucking time.
Yeah, but for me, until, I don't know, a few months ago, this is such a vulnerable private thing. I have a therapist now that I've been going to for a few months that I've talked of here. Her name is Susan. She's new in my life anyway. And up until very recently, I used to say to you, when you would say, how long do you let yourself be sad about something? For whatever reason, and this is just so personal to me, it felt out of my control, the emotion. Mm-hmm. I was like, God, how does she let it go in a couple of hours? And for something broke inside of me, and I don't go there anymore. I just don't.
That's so good.
I don't hold on to it anymore. I just don't.
It's such a waste of time and energy.
But it felt so out of my control.
I understand.
I think I had to go through years of that.
Me too.
And years of it being taxing on my body for it to finally, like the way an alcoholic or addict hits bottom, I had to let it go.
Yeah.
And an image that worked for me was something I found in therapy. Say it's a 30-room mansion. I don't know if I said this before, but I'm going to say it again. Yeah. It's like if your life or your psyche or your emotions are a 30-room mansion, I was living in one room. Mm-hmm. I was living in sadness, regret, despair, anything negative you can imagine. And I was ignoring the other 29 rooms. And I'm thinking, I'm not feeling my life. I'm not seeing the dog or the house I live in or the plants in my backyard.
Right, you're not seeing anything positive.
The movies, when I take my niece and there's an empty movie theater in Jersey on a Tuesday and it's so much fun. Or my time I spend with you is insane. We laugh so hard we have to pull over. You know what I'm saying? We swerve. Mm-hmm. It's like I wasn't feeling my life, but for whatever reason I could never turn that emotion off until recently. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I don't feel the negative, but I don't have time anymore to live in it, to soak in it.
It's also what I used to do is I used to be in victim mode. So I was always a victim. I was always being hurt, not getting what I want. It was personal.
Let's talk about what that means.
Let me just, because I've been through things in my life in the past couple of years, and I've said this before with family members, not to get into detail, but that kind of stuff has made me totally not look at this small little petty shit. Meaning for me, like with social media, I'm like, oh my God, big fucking deal. This video didn't do well. I'm going to a children's hospital looking at kids who are dying.
That was part of it.
Are you fucking kidding me? I'm worrying about a video doing well on Facebook. Like, this is insane.
Right.
So I don't know, that helped me a lot.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm talking about your life.
Yeah.
Like going with you.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, I remember specifically just this one visit in particular where that little boy, somebody was crying in the children's ward, like 3 beds away. And I remember when that mom walked by and said, I'm so sorry. And I remember we all said, oh my God, please don't apologize. But I remember having to go to the emergency room when I was 4 because I had hives from chocolate or something. And I remember it so specifically. I remember the color of the room. I remember the little boy they were examining when we walked out. I remember the injection that they gave me, this stain from whatever they cleaned my arm with. It's so, it puts everything in perspective. It's so traumatizing. And even with stuff that's not about likes on Facebook, that's like a dream that doesn't turn out the way you wanted, or a marriage that doesn't turn out the way you wanted, or a kid that's not in a school you hope they'd be in. Sometimes they're big things.
Yeah.
But it's feeling it and then feeling the rest of it too. The good stuff.
Right.
Letting go.
Yeah, and letting go.
Would you explain, because I think that a lot of people are living in being a victim and don't know what it is. My sister who passed away she spent her whole adult life playing a victim. I don't think she ever even heard of that vernacular. What do you think that means? I know what it means, but...
Well, for me, I always feel like it's like you have to, you basically, for me, I would put myself in a role of being a victim where poor me, I don't get enough. It's like I put myself there. I created a story, you know?
Yes.
It's like, first of all, someone who comes from a hard upbringing, and this is going to sound harsh, but it's how I feel. Like, you know, you were beaten your whole life. You know, that's horrific. It's a horrible situation. But I know people who would be in therapy for 30 years, you know, for it, and still blame every single thing in their life on that. And at some point, I feel like, not that you have to forget it or forgive who did it or whatever it is, but you're creating this story that every single thing is wrong because of that experience, and you make that reality. That's your excuse for everything. Well, it's because I was beaten. Well, it's because I was, you know, it's like, not that it's not okay, and it does sound harsh, but at some point I feel like you have to move on from that and not, for example, I would blame my parents for things for years. I'm talking about well into like my 30s. And at some point, I don't know what happened. I probably from going to therapy, I woke up and I'm like, I can't use this as an excuse anymore. Mm-hmm. That I'm being like shitty in relationships, or I have intimacy issues, or I have this or I have that. Like, now it's Jessica's responsibility.
Right.
It's not because of my parents.
Right.
Like, I've been in therapy for years. I've worked on it. Mm-hmm. Like, they're living their lives and gone, and I'm an adult.
Right.
Like, at some point you have to take responsibility.
And what's dangerous about it is, I think that it morphs into, like, say my sister felt like she was never taken care of by my parents. Mm-hmm. In other words, Like in other words, she didn't feel supported as, say, an artist. She's like, why did I study accounting? Why didn't they support me? They were too busy working and trying to put food on the table.
Right.
Not that what she felt wasn't valid, but then that why didn't they support me turned into, why does nobody notice me? Why me? Am I always... It morphs into everything else, and you don't even know why you're playing the victim anymore.
Exactly. And then you do it to your when you don't have kids, but when you have kids, you'll say, "Well, I'm like this because my parents were like." It really can get tricky.
I have a Chihuahua.
It really can get tricky. It's very different. Right. But when you have a kid, you have to be really careful because, you know, I can say, well, I don't, you know, sometimes I get impatient because my parents were impatient. Well, no, I'm older. I'm in my 40s. Like, I can't blame I get it. It might be because my parents were impatient, but now it's my responsibility to fix that so I don't repeat the same behavior with my children.
Right. And I feel like I noticed that severe kind of difference. In other words, my cousins who never forgave their father. He wasn't present. He was a gambling addict and whatnot. Really, really hurt my aunt, his wife. You know, he would disappear for weeks at a time. All four of them have had long-term marriages and are the most wonderful parents. Mm-hmm. They went like the opposite way. Right. I know so many people like that. We know someone like that. Yeah. So that's kind of a beautiful thing, too, to have that chance in life to heal yourself by making up for it with your own.
Exactly. And I think when you're aware of it, you can make changes. Right. But it's the people that aren't aware, that have no clue what's even going on in the world.
Awareness is hard.
That repeat the same behaviors with their kids.
You know, I know that having a Chihuahua is different.
It is. No, I know.
I was trying to inject some humor. But the thing is, like, it's very hard for me to say no to him, like when he wants some of what I'm eating. Yeah. So that's like the way my mother would shove donuts in my mouth.
I get it.
And meatballs and pasta and bologna sandwiches and... Let's read a letter. You want to?
Of course.
This is from Joan. No, I'm kidding.
Frank and I love the name Joan.
This is from, first of all, Tom Petrasco sent us the cutest picture with puppies. Look at that. Isn't that cute?
Oh, that's adorable.
Tom, this is so cute. Tom, but I don't know what this first sentence means. Okay, hello, Frank and Jessica. First of all, Jesse, I enjoyed your gay porn scene despite it took place in a garbage dump.
I don't know. It's probably something I said. That's crazy.
Biz. Okay. I'm a big fan of both of you, and love the podcast. I grew up fat and gay with braces and acne. Aww. My chubby body with boy boobs rendered me androgynous to some people, looking like Pat. I was often mistaken from a girl. Can I tell you, I have to stop for a second because I didn't hit puberty until I was like 16. And when your best friend's brother says, who's she? It is something that stays with you. Oh,
are you reading? You're saying
I'm
for
talking
you.
about,
I had
the same experience because it's so painful when you're a little boy and somebody mistakes, and especially when you're a gay kid and don't really know it yet, it fucks you up.
Yeah.
I was often mistaken for a girl. I'm going back to the letter now. The photo here, me on the right, shows me wearing my favorite jacket, which resembled a Kmart smock. Around the age of 14, I was wearing it at Kmart shopping on a Saturday with my mom. An older man tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Excuse me, ma'am, do you work here? I'm looking for the auto department." Oh. I tried many diets in my teens, including the Valerie Harper diet. I saw the Valerie Harper diet I saw in a photoplay magazine my aunt gave me from her beauty shop. Drink 6 ounces of grapefruit juice 30 minutes before eating dinner to curb your appetite. It only gave me more gas.
So hard.
I appreciate both of you sharing your struggles with eating and being honest. It helps. Just want to say thanks for making my friends and I laugh every week. With love, Tom Petrasco, Boston. Tom, oh my God, that is so sweet. Thank you. And I couldn't connect more to it. My dad had a hair salon and we had photoplay magazines all the time. And Rona Barrett's Hollywood. I
love, you know what? I love when people write in and they're so honest and so vulnerable.
Right.
And it just makes us, again, I say this, but it makes us feel good that you're sharing what you're going through. And it also makes us feel good that we're doing this and you're getting something out of it.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's really why we're doing this.
And that's such a painful letter, and he made it funny.
Yeah. I mean, that's the goal.
Like, excuse me, miss, where's the auto parts department?
I know.
Kmart.
He should have been like, I have no idea.
That was the best. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
we
love you, Tom.
Write to us at heyfatpig@gmail.com and send us pictures. If you guys want, we can post them on heyfatpig at Instagram or heyfatpig on Twitter. Thank you guys for listening. We love you so much.
We love you so much. Thank you so much for listening.